Running a little bit behind today, no real vlog. This is stage 5. Another time trial. Again, not really looking forward to it. I'm gonna just chill on it. Keep it like zone 2, zone 3. Do what I can on the hill. No, I'm not. Who am I kidding? But I don't care because there's no sprint segments. And then tomorrow there's 3. These are not my strong suit. I don't expect a nice surprise like I did on stage 2 or stage 1 of this year. But again, there's no sprint segments. So no point in hurting myself.
Stage 5 was an interesting dilemma because, again, there's no sprint segments, so there's really nothing for me to do on this stage as a sprinter, except for one thing, and that's simply complete the stage. I've never done Bologna before. Actually, I really liked it. I thought it was pretty cool, to be completely honest. Definitely felt like a climb portal kind of route. Very steep, pretty long hill. Other than that, it's relatively flat, kind of similar to France. I mean, a little bit of 1, 2, maybe a 3% up, down throughout. So it was pretty easy overall to keep a pretty steady power, which again, I do surprise myself as far as seeing a predominantly yellow power graph down at the bottom. I'm happy with that. Other than that, the goal was to just finish and keep things under wraps. I do not want to blow up. Truthfully, this was a pretty good opportunity to just keep the legs light, spin them out as best I could. So again, you saw the recovery at the beginning, not great considering I am now 5 days into heavy bike races. The power goes naturally way up as it is just a sustained 10, 12, 13% gradient, this whole steep section. So all I wanted to do was finish and get to the next day. I actually watched a Ed Laverick video in the Tour Watopia a couple months ago, and he said you have to race every day as hard as you can, take one day at a time. You have to race it as it's the only race. And so I kind of took that to heart, and then I'm faced with a stage like today. It's got nothing for me other than get to tomorrow. So I didn't want to just totally zone to it. I do want to finish, and I use the other people just as carrots in front of me, and I did that very well also. I did not look at the place standings. I did not compare myself. I just tried to keep a consistent power. So I started out pretty far back in about 100. We get to the top of the climb. I'm in mid 70s, 75 or so. Go all the way back down, all the way across the flat, go up the climb again, and I'm still in 70s. So again, feeling pretty good about that overall. I enjoyed my time in Bologna, but I'm not looking forward to stage 6.
Bologna, dude, one for the books. Pretty cool time trial, I think. Pretty hard time trial, I think. I mean, I would love to race any stage with fresh legs and a fresh mindset, but that's not FRR. That's the Zwift Racing Series each month. Fresh legs and fresh mind. So I found that to be difficult, definitely, but also, like, again, no sprint segments, so I'm not trying to waste myself for no purpose other than GC contention, which again, I'm not in GC contention. So yeah, tough stage. Felt good to move the legs though, I guess. I mean, I kind of like that stage. Never did it before. Hopefully I got a badge. Tomorrow is the sugar cookie, if I remember right, which there are 3 sprint segments. 3.4 for 20 minutes. Okay. I mean, not terrible, but not great. 231 average. I mean, for not trying too hard. Of course, I did some there at the end. Should have stopped it. Where's my 30-minute power? Actually, you know what? Start with 20 minute. 266. It's pretty good. Cool. This is not getting any easier, man. I'll tell you what. This is so hard. Stage 6, coming in hot. I never did a prime time before. This is a first for me.
Despite having a phenomenal recovery, considering we're 6 days in now to some pretty tough racing, the legs are feeling heavy. Yeah, definitely stiff for sure, but the green recovery is a lot more of how am I sleeping, how am I fueling, which obviously I'm in the green pretty good. So, and the hardest part about FRR is probably the logistical aspect of finding a time slot that's going to fit my schedule. My schedule being a dude who works full time, who's, you know, more or less 9 to 5, and then I have some evenings out as well. So it's just very difficult to find a time slot that works. In this case, I had an opening, so I ran home real quick, had a very brief warm up, and then I was able to hop into a primetime race, which is awesome because I know it's the fastest time slot. The bad news is I don't have the legs to race prime time. Furthermore, this is going to be a stage with 3 sprint segments. So I'm going to do my best to commentate, and I tried to just skip ahead because it's a very long route as well. 30 plus miles. So we're just going to look at the sprint segments. This is the first one right here. Forgive me, I don't know the names of them. Prime time, the peloton was so big, I could not see the green line. Kind of happened in London the other day. I didn't even see the start of it. And also, they are very long sprints. They're not like 10, 12-second efforts. They're all like 35-ish second. So thumbs down to that one. It was bad. It got a late start. Very big group. So you're drafting the whole time, but I just did not have it. And as soon as I stood up to start putting the power out, I realized there was no power to put out. Like nothing. And it hurt real bad. And I was also pretty confused because my heart rate has not been too good in the last 12 and a half minutes or so of this race. I thought it was going to be, I don't know, more elevated as it usually is for the power I'm doing. And then to go full gas, as much as full gas was in that instance, to see like mid 170s, I was like, odd. I feel like I'm huffing and puffing real hard. But anyways, I'll talk about that a little more at the end. There's not a lot of time in between segment number 1 and our second sprint segment. I think in real time it's about 3 minutes or so, 3 minutes and change. So not a whole lot of recovery time. It's nice that, you know, again, prime time, having such a big crowd, there is a lot more recovery. There's a lot of draft, and you're just like protected on all sides, which is phenomenal. And I mean, really kept the race moving as well. So, Lord willing, my work schedule was a lot different, and I had the afternoons free. Dude, I'd love to come home every day around lunchtime and race with these guys. So here we are, sprint number 2. Not too good as well. I'm protected on all sides again. Don't crack 1,000 watts. Had pretty high RPM. That was good. So yeah, I might have gotten a new PR on the segment, but big whoop. I don't really ever race these segments, or I don't think I have really ever raced these segments and gone full gas on them before. So not much to really compare it to be honest. So the power is just not getting as high as I want. Not doing too well. This is not a sprint segment. It is a segment for FRR. It is not being calculated. So it's sprints 1, 2, and 4. Again, forgive me. I don't recall the names. I'm going to be completely honest. This is several days after the fact now. I'm finally getting around to making these videos. So thanks for hanging in with me. Appreciate the patience as well. Sprint segment number 3. It starts out downhill. So again, I've kind of pieced together that because they're so long, we're going to stay in a group, but you got to be doing 500 watts like this. And then as soon as you can, once you calculate it, blast. Just go as hard as you can. I'm trying that. Not successful per se. So we skip way ahead. Those were the 3 sprint segments. This is the Sugar Cookie route. It's very long. Does that new Coast Crusher portion. And then it goes up that long bridge, and then it goes across the bypass, and then you go down into the jungle again. And because the FRR creators are absolutely mad, we're going to do the first 2 sprint segments again. So the good news is I have redemption on that first sprint segment that I totally botched. The bad news is I have even less power now than I did over an hour ago. So it's just like, I mean, of course I'm going to go for it. I'm always going to do my best. I'm always going to give it all I got. I encourage you to do the same, as always, kind of my catchphrase that I'm working on. And here we go, going for it. There's nobody around me. There's no one to draft off of. It was kind of demoralizing at this point. I stand up when I can. I push it down. Look at that face. That's just, again, my head has been so clear this whole series. Like, I am so sugared up. I'm so focused. But I don't always, especially in this case, I have no like muscle to back it up with. So here we are, the very last one. I have a second chance of redemption on this second segment. 2 guys in front of me. I try to race them just to have that carrot dangling in front of me to chase after. I try. I got nothing. I just dismal efforts, man. I felt absolutely blasted on this entire stage. So roll across the finish. Just finish. I don't care about placement. I don't care about number. I'm only here for the sprint segments.
My legs are blasted. I didn't think they were that bad. I thought they were just like stiff. No. And it's evident in my heart rate, which would just like, it was pretty low. For the power I was doing and only doing mid 150s, I personally thought it should have been a lot higher. Like 160s. And then doing those sprints, it was like the highest I saw, well, let's look. The highest I saw was 177. I don't know about that one. Well, 179. Yeah, not much different. Totally missed that first sprint. 1 minute power. 458. 30-second power, 607. 25 second, 632, 5 second, 908.
And at the conclusion of stage 6, this puts me in 22nd overall for the sprinter jersey. Pretty excited about that. Concluding my day was a crapshoot, to be honest. 3 sprint segments, really just bombed them. But I finished them. I gave it my all. That's all I can do. Onward towards tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Drop a word of encouragement down below, and I'll see you in the next one.